Troy Spring says, are Protestants a whole lot better than Catholics at evangelization? If so, what's the reason for this?
In some respects, I would say they're better at getting people in the door, like getting them saved, so to speak. And then in terms of discipleship and formation, they start to fall flat because it depends from one denomination to the next, but many of these denominations, the end is to get a person saved, and then it's just a matter of kind of waiting and hanging out and celebrating.
Although
right?
I will say, though, the Protestants that I've known and the churches maybe they've told me about, they usually involve some pretty vigorous and intentional small group communities, you know?
That's true. Yeah. But ultimately, if you start to have more difficult questions about scripture or theology, I find that those groups, in my experience, they tend to shy away from theology because it becomes very divisive, right? Because it's like, well, my interpretation of scripture is this and yours is this, and how do we resolve that? And pastors is this or whatever. And so in my experience, they don't tend to get very theological. They tend to keep it sort of very high level and more about socializing and encouraging each other. And yeah, we'll read scripture together and we'll pray together.
Yeah.
But when we get confronted with really strong difficulties, we don't really have the answers for those.
I want to tell you about a course that I have created for men to overcome pornography. It is called strive21.com/Matt. You go there right now, or if you text STRIVE to 66866, we'll send you the link. It's 100% free, and it's a course I've created to help men, to give them the tools to overcome pornography. Usually men know that porn is wrong. They don't need me or you to convince them that it's wrong. What they need is a battle plan to get out. And so I've distilled all that I've learned over the last 15 or so years as I've been talking and writing on this topic into this one course. Think of it as if you and I could have a coffee over the next 21 days and I would kind of guide you along this journey. That's basically what this is. It's incredibly well produced. We had a whole camera crew come and film this. And I think it'll be a real help to you. And it's also not an isolated course that you go through on your own, because literally tens of thousands of men have now gone through this course. And as you go through the different videos, there's comments from men all around the world encouraging each other, offering to be each other's accountability partners and things like that. Strive21, that's strive21.com/Matt, or as I say, text STRIVE to 66866 to get started today. You won't regret it.
They tend to keep it sort of very high level and more about socializing and encouraging each other. And yeah, we'll read scripture together and we'll pray together.
Yeah.
But when we get confronted with really strong difficulties, we don't really have the answers for those. And not that it's night and day on the Catholic side. I mean, there's a lot of controversy and difficulty and polarization in Catholicism as well. But for those people who have the intuitions for orthodoxy, they can find their way, I think. The reason I think Protestants are so good at what they do is because they're all lay people. And the lay vocation just lends itself well to doing the kinds of things that Fisher's Network is doing. I wouldn't expect the clergy to do a Fisher's Network, right? That's the vocation of a lay person, to do something like that. But the clergy need to be involved and they need to participate in those kinds of initiatives. And it needs to be sort of a harmonious thing. But in Catholicism, the degrees of harmony between the clergy and the laity varies at the best of times. And I think a lot of the times, most of us in the laity, we're just sort of sitting back waiting for leadership. But in Protestantism, they're not waiting. They're just doing it. They're doing the things they see the needs and they're getting it done because they don't have a clergy to turn to.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.